Welcome back, and hello to my regulars. Hello to you if you're just joining me for the first time. So oftentimes when I go visit people in your home, and what I hear about your entire life story. This past week I went to go see someone who has been listening to this program for a number of years. And first of all, thank you for listening, because sometimes when I'm sitting behind this microphone, I don't know if anybody's out there in the world listening. And I'm basically talking to myself for an hour, which I'm really good at talking to myself. If you're ever around me and I'm just talking away and you're like, hello, Michelle, were you talking to me? I'm like, no, I'm talking to me. I'm talking to myself. Anyway, so today I'm going to give you something a little different. I'm going to tell you about my life and how I got to be in real estate for the last 20 years and how I got to Cincinnati. And it's a story that I don't often tell, but I think it might be interesting for you to get my perspective, because oftentimes, like I said, I hear your life story and I love to hear how people got where they are, and so I'm hoping that this will be interesting for you to listen to as well. So I was born in, no, I'm not going to go that far back. I did grow up in Tiffin, Ohio, which is northwest Ohio. I'm an Ohio girl, and so went to Catholic school and then went to Bowling Green State University. That's where I met my husband, Scott Sloan, from 700 WLW. So we met in college. We were college sweethearts. They call us Falcon Flames, because if you know Bowling Green State University, you know that we are the Falcons. So we were engaged very early in our lives. So we've been together for over 35 years, and we have had quite an adventure in our life. So we started in the Toledo market, and we bounced around a little bit because Scott was in radio, and at the time I was doing TV news. So we started in Toledo. He was working at a radio station. I was working at a TV station. I was doing some reporting and some producing. And so that was a great first job for us. But then Scott got a job in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we moved to Milwaukee. We were there for about a year and a half or so, maybe 2 years, had a great time. We were young. We were bar hopping like crazy. Milwaukee is a great city if you ever have a chance to visit. I think Milwaukee is great. And so I got into TV there, and he was in radio, and really he ended up getting fired. There's no other way to put it. He got fired, and then we needed to make another move. So we moved then to Charleston, West Virginia, and we were there for a few years. I was still working in TV. He was still working in radio. And then we moved after a couple of years, we moved to Youngstown, Ohio. That's where his parents, Scott's parents, were at the time. And so after a little bit of time there, I didn't end up working. I did some freelance work, but I didn't end up working too much. And I got pregnant. So I had my first son. And then it was time to move again, because his radio station was no good. It was bad. It was a bad situation, so it was time to leave there. And so we left there and we went back to Toledo, and it felt like home. It was a great place to be. We were near family. We had our first son, so it was great. I went back into TV after a few months. Scott was a stay-at-home dad for a hot minute, and until he got back into radio. So he got into radio. Is it boring you? But this is my life, okay? I hope you are enjoying some of the travels just to get you to where I am today. And it's really, to me, I think all of the experiences that I've had lead me to who I am today. Of course, that's how all of us are. When we go through situations and we move from place to place. And when we were moving from place to place every couple of years, I mean, that was part of my experience of being a real estate agent and broker today. So we were in Toledo for a few years. He ended up getting a job at 700 WLW. We moved to Cincinnati. That's when, actually, we had our daughter in Toledo, so we have 2 kids. We moved here when our kids were little. I got into real estate. Scott stayed on the radio. All is well. So the last 20 years, I have been a realtor in Cincinnati, in the Ohio Cincinnati market, and loving it. We went through so much. I mean, when I got my license in 2005, honestly, the market was hot at that time. And it was really big on flipping. There were so many homes that were being purchased, renovated, and then resold. And we said, ooh, that could be a really cool opportunity. And so that's how I got into the business, because Scott and I thought we were going to be in the flipping business, because he would do his radio show, and then after the radio show, he could do the labor. And then I got into real estate so I could buy and sell the homes that we wanted to update and renovate. Just a couple of years later, life takes twists and turns. The market crashed. 2008, 2009, the market crashed. Well, it was very, very interesting because both of our careers continued to go in a positive direction. I continued to sell homes. We got out of the flipping business because there was no flipping during that time. Scott was doing great on the radio, and we were just kind of living our lives. Kids were getting older, and life was good. So let's get us to present day now. You still with me? Present day, and 5 years ago, I opened my own brokerage, Remax Time, and it has been wonderful in the fact that I'm a boss at heart. I work a lot. If you say, Michelle, can you come see me this week? I'm going to find time in my schedule to come see you, because that's what I do. And it's interesting, the correlation, and this is something that I think, again, if you want to know a little bit about me and my background, the correlation between me being in TV news and being a reporter and being a real estate agent, they're not really very far off, because in TV news, I was doing research on stories. I worked 24/7, 7 days a week, including holidays. And in real estate, I'm just researching properties. I've honed my skills, and I don't have to do, current news and current topics, but I can do research on your home or a home that you want to buy. So that's a little bit about my background. So again, I continue to sell real estate, and I am now the broker owner of Remax Time. And Remax is a franchise, just like a McDonald's. And a lot of people don't understand that. They say, oh, you work for Remax. Yes and no, because Remax is the parent company. It's a company that's been around for 50 years. I love all of the tools that I can receive to be able to help you, my clients, buy and sell homes. I've got great resources. We have great brand recognition. So I'm really proud of my relationship with Remax. So with all of that said, how does it affect you? And you can tell I've had a varied kind of past, but Ohio is my home. Cincinnati is my home. We've been here for more than 20 years. And it is absolutely 100% home, and I feel like an ambassador for Cincinnati and the Cincinnati market. To have me come to see you, and I can learn your life story and help you with your goals, because it's not just a one and done transaction when it comes to when I work with you. I work with you in a way as if you were if you're younger than me, it's kind of like you are my son or daughter. I want to look out for you. I want what's best for you. If I see something, I say something. I've never ever afraid to give you my opinion on things, and because I just don't want you to make a bad decision. Same as if you're planning to sell your home. If you're planning to sell your home, I don't want you to just make a decision to sell if it's not the right decision for you at the time. So a lot of people will call me and say, Michelle, I'm thinking about selling my home. I'm going to be moving here, or I'm going to be moving into some sort of a retirement village. You know, it's all about timing. And in your lifetime and in my lifetime, it's always been about timing as we move forward in this life. So I don't want to get too philosophical. But I will just say, you know, I haven't lived here my whole life, but I am a true Cincinnatian in the fact that I love this city more than anything. It is 100% home for Scott and I. And I want to thank you if I have worked with you or if I will work with you in the future. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for enriching my life, because each person that I meet, and this sounds kind of corny, I know, but each person I meet just adds a little bit of love in my heart, and I can say that from the bottom of my heart as well. So anyway, so that's my life story. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, certainly you can call me and ask me or whatever, but we're going to take a break now, and we're going to get back into the real show on the Sloan Sells Homes open house. We're going to be talking about the presidential election coming up this year and how that affects the real estate market when we come back right here on 55 KRC, the talk station.